Imagine spending millions of dollars on a custom luxury retreat, only to have the architect basically force you to walk outside in the freezing rain just to get from your bedroom to the kitchen.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, today we're looking at a home that does exactly that, and they did it on purpose.
It really challenges, everything we think we know about comfort. We usually picture modern luxury homes as these, sealed-off spaceships.
Right.
Just dropped onto a cleared lot, pumping their own artificial climate. But this project completely flips that script.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we're pulling from architectural reviews, biographies, and some Sunset Magazine features to really explore the hillside residence on Orcas Island.
Up in the Pacific Northwest.
Right. It was designed by Heliotrope Architects for this advertising executive, Lucas Donut, and his wife, Tracy.
Oh, and some folks might actually remember him as the child actor from the horror classic Omen II, which is just a fun detail.
Yeah, that is wild. But our mission today is really to figure out how this pretty modest, I think it's a 1,500 square foot retreat, manages to master ecological integration so perfectly.
And to really understand that, we have to start with the layout, because the fundamental footprint of this house is just wild.
Yeah.
Because of the incredibly steep grade of the site, the architects didn't just bulldoze a flat square to force a standard house to fit.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. So they didn't flatten the land. Can you give me an analogy for how they actually approached it?
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of like it's like tailoring a bespoke suit to fit the exact contours of someone's body rather than, forcing them into a rigid box. They actually split the home into two separate cedar-clad pavilions.
Right, so one pavilion is for the living spaces and guests, and the other is the primary suite.
Exactly.
And they literally stepped down the hillside, sitting on either side of this massive old-growth Douglas Fir tree.
Which is amazing.
They built the home around the tree, specifically to avoid compacting the soil over its roots. But, okay, let me play devil's advocate here.
Sure.
Making someone walk outside in the damp, chilly weather of the Pacific Northwest just to get a morning cup of coffee? I mean, that seems like a terrible design for a luxury home. Doesn't that totally defeat the purpose of having a cozy shelter?
Well, so what you're saying is that exposing the residents to harsh weather seems to contradict the whole idea of luxury and comfort, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd absolutely think so. But the architects and the clients, they wanted to force what they call a metabolic alignment with the microclimate.
Metabolic alignment.
Yeah, by making you physically step out into the coastal air and the forest canopy every single morning. You are instantly immersed in the natural cycles of the environment.
Oh, wow.
You aren't just looking at nature through a double-paned window, You're feeling the temperature drop, you're smelling the pine, and you're actually participating in the ecosystem.
Okay, taking a moment to reflect on that. You're saying that by removing the sort of artificial bubble, the house forces your body to literally adapt to the daily rhythms of the forest.
Exactly.
That is a fascinating point. Even if you are just renting an apartment in a city, there is a real lesson here about how we arrange our spaces. Like, we spend so much energy trying to block out the weather entirely.
Oh, absolutely.
But maybe we should be asking how we can better align our daily routines with the natural light and air right outside our windows.
Yeah, and that deep respect for the physical site, it naturally extends to what the house is actually made of, which gets into some really interesting nuances.
Here's where it gets really interesting, yeah. Which brings us to the materials. They didn't just ship an exotic stone from across the world.
No, not at all.
The construction relied on timber that was milled right there on the island. The steel was fabricated by an island-based artisan, and the custom quantum windows were built less than 50 miles away.
Right.
They even matched the interior to the forest, using this seafoam green kitchen island and dark green bathroom tiles that visually pulled the mossy landscape right into the rooms.
It's gorgeous.
But I mean, realistically, relying almost exclusively on hyper-local artisans sounds like a total logistical nightmare.
It can be, yeah.
Isn't that approach way too limiting for modern high-end construction?
It takes way more coordination, sure, but it solves a massive problem in the industry, which is embodied carbon.
Oh, right.
Think about the fuel burned and the emissions created just by shipping heavy building materials across oceans. By taking this completely decentralized local approach, they drastically lowered the carbon footprint of the entire build.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it proves that luxury doesn't have to rely on massive global supply chains. You can actually boost regional economies and celebrate local craftsmanship while building something world-class.
Okay, so I want to shift us into a bit of a deep dive Q&A session here, because there are a few really complex aspects of this property that we need to address.
Let's do it.
So my first question for you is about Heliotrope's other famous project on Orcas Island, the Buck Mountain Cabin.
Oh, yeah, the contrast there is great.
Right. So why does the hillside residence gently step down into the dirt and rocks, but the Buck Mountain Cabin literally floats 22 feet in the air on steel columns? Why the massive difference in foundations?
That is a great question. It all comes down to what the land underneath is doing. So by resting the hillside home directly on top of the natural stepped bedrock, instead of blasting a massive hole for a traditional foundation, the underground water, the subterranean hydrology, can keep flowing naturally down the hill uninterrupted.
Oh, I see.
But Buck Mountain, on the other hand, was built over a highly delicate forest floor, so it needed to float to avoid crushing the vegetation. Both homes respect the land, they just use totally opposite strategies to do it.
One digs its heels into the rock and the other tiptoes over the top.
Exactly. Okay, so my turn for a question. It's amazing that they sourced all this local wood and glass, but a wooden cabin in the damp Pacific Northwest sounds freezing. If they aren't shipping in high-tech insulation materials or massive HVAC units, how is this house actually staying warm through bioclimatic engineering?
Yeah, so this is brilliant. The home uses the climate rather than fighting it. For example, it features these deep, south-facing roof overhangs. And the geometry of those overhangs is highly specific.
How so?
Well, in the summer, when the sun is high in the sky, the roofs act like the brim of a hat, basically shading the glass to keep the house cool.
Yeah.
But in the winter, when the sun dips much lower on the horizon, those warming rays slip right under the overhangs and heat the home passively. And then for supplemental heat, they just rely on localized wood-burning stoves.
That is just incredible passive performance.
It really is. Which leads me to my final question for you. This home earned Sunset Magazine's 2026 award for Best Retro-Inspired Cabin. The mid-century inspired sustainability isn't just an aesthetic, it's baked into the physics of the house.
Yeah.
So if modern architecture is increasingly designed to completely defer to nature like this, at what point does a house stop being a shelter from the elements and start becoming an extension of the ecosystem itself?
Man, that is the ultimate provocative thought, isn't it?
Right.
I think we are reaching a point where we aren't building spaceships to lock out the world anymore. Maybe we're finally learning how to just plant a home and let it grow. It really blurs the line between human habitation and nature.
It really does. Now, before we wrap up today's deep dive, we want to transition directly into presenting our own agency.
Yes, absolutely.
We at AI Yuli Studio are incredibly passionate about elevating brands and spaces. Our media network is built on 4 core pillars. First, we operate a global YouTube media network and manage high-level brand sponsorships.
Second, we specialize in high-converting real estate and super yacht lead generation. We know how to get the right eyes on luxury assets.
Third, we offer B2B cinematic video production and turnkey services. We basically handle everything from concept to the final polished cut.
And fourth, we focus on commercial brand strategy and culinary visuals, making sure your brand looks as good as it tastes and feels.
So if you want to take your brand or real estate project to the next level, please visit our website at ayulastudio.com.
Yeah, definitely check the links in the description.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we will catch you next time.